Hi, Mickey here. On this channel, I like to talk about current events, news, and trending topics, and just give my perspective on things. I know I'm just some guy, but here it is. And you're watching me, so I might as well talk to you while you're watching me, otherwise we're just doing a staring contest. So, today, I want to talk about the subject of social justice. You see, a perspective that I have on it, something that I've been thinking of recently, is in World War II, I know, what a segue, huh? In World War II, there were essentially two teams, the Axis and the Allies. The Axis was the Nazis and their allies, the Russians, the defected Eastern Europeans that went with Hitler's side, because maybe they didn't believe that Jews were evil, maybe they didn't want to exterminate an entire population, but they wanted to be on the winning side, or they at least thought, well, he fixed Germany's economy, so maybe he can do the rest for Eastern Europe, and I can be part of that. I can enjoy those fruits. I'm seeing a lot of that these days, only the Axis has been smart enough to pair up with the Allies. And you'll see what I'm getting at in just a sec. You see, when it comes to college campus social justice warriors, you tend to see a lot of this supremacy attitude where if it doesn't benefit them fully and completely and only, then there's something racist about it. You give a tax cut to all Americans. Well, some of these BLM type social justice warriors are like, well, that's racist. Why are white people getting a tax cut? They don't think, yay, everybody's getting a tax cut, I'm getting a tax cut. They think, well, shit, why are white people getting a tax cut? This attitude has been evidenced everywhere. Notable cases, of course, are Mizzou, Evergreen, and really just constantly places like Berkeley and where is Randa Jarrar working at? That Fresno State. These are places where if you're a white person, you might actually be on the receiving end of some pretty heavy racism these days. And Asians are lumped in with that as well. Pay attention to how a lot of people are saying that pretty much if you have light-colored skin, including if you're a light-skinned black person, well then you are complicit in racism and the holding down of all the lesser races, which is preposterous. It's ridiculous. Anyone with an eye and with a heart for equality, which I am, I desperately want equality. I want all races to essentially be ignored. No, you don't get special brownie points for what color you are. Just get in there and do the work. But there's this idea going around that you do get special points for having certain racial characteristics. People do think that if you're white, you just wake up out of bed, somebody hands you the deed to a company, and boom, you're rich. And that's just not how it is. That's not how it is at all. The people that work hard or have good ideas and work smart in this country are the ones who make it. And that's what equality truly is. Equality is about your intellect or your drive or your innovation. You see, you can have a stupid, brutish person, and so long as they are willing to come in and do the work more than 40 hours a week, they're going to make it. But you've got some people who can come in and figure out a quick end run through the problem, and they're going to make it in just a few hours. But everybody makes it who tries to make it. And the problem is you've got these people now who are absolutely certain that because they woke up black that morning, well, they're not going to make it unless somebody comes in and just gives it to them. And that's just not how equality works. Social justice in 2018 is ridiculous, and it continues. I was on Twitter just yesterday watching I don't know what was she? She was a Puerto Rican girl trying to roast a half Asian girl on her white privilege and her lack of blackness. What? And of course, she had all the signs: the heavy red lipstick, the really, really pale skin, the danger glasses, the cat eye shaped sunglasses. It's like a uniform for these social justice people. You can tell what people are thinking just by the way they're walking around, looking and acting these days. Why can't we simply agree that social justice is for all of society, everybody, black, white, Spanish, Mexican, because Spanish and Mexican are actually two different things, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, everybody, okay? There's no reason for us to continue this racial divide, and the problem is that there are groups of people, and here's where I'm getting to the Axis and Allies. There are groups of people that want supremacy in their own group. Right now, I'm going to come out and say that it's Black Lives Matter. They want black supremacy. And so what are they doing? They're taking it as a social justice issue. They're taking it as an equality issue when really they want supremacy, because there are people called the allies. They're actually called allies in this context as well, not just in my little allegory. These allies like to say, yes, I'm white, but I'm a black ally because I believe in equality, when really they're being used as a patsy for this supremacy, and they don't even know it because they just don't want to be on the receiving end of being called a racist and being labeled as something negative that might affect their education or their employment in the future. And that's something that we need to not only look out for and recognize, but then we need to actively fight against it. And it needs to become something important so that these supremacists of all colors, white supremacists, black supremacists, Chinese supremacists, brown supremacists, because this whole Brown Lives Matter thing was a thing for a while too, they need to be put down. They need to be shown that equality is for everybody, not just for them. I'm just going to come out with a quick story, and then I'm going to let this one go because it's running long. But a thing that happened at Evergreen before the whole day of absence thing was that classes were starting to get segregated according to race. The black people were starting to come in and say, hey, the seats are only for the black people. If you're white, you have to stand at the back. And they were demanding more racial diversity in their teachers, which meant they wanted every teacher in every class to be black and to have no white teachers. That's what diversity looks like to a supremacist. Do you see where I'm going here? Do you see what I'm continuing to get at? These people who preach diversity seem to only want one kind of diversity, and only the diversity that's going to work for them. And these days, it's pretty easy to not only recognize that, but also to weed it out. Sadly, half the nation has an IQ in the double digits, and they can't. They literally do not have the ability to recognize that. They can only see the rhetoric as something real and go with it. Either because they think that they believe the same thing as these supremacists, or they just don't want the backlash. Either way, they don't have the wherewithal to fight against it, but you do, and I do. And so, it's important that when you see this, you say something. You don't just shut your mouth. You do what Professor Weinstein did. Now, he got kicked out. He got kicked out of Evergreen, but good for him, because he didn't want to be part of that racist movement. He didn't want to be part of the racist day of absence. And I applaud him for that. Now, I want to throw it back to you guys. I'd like to see comments. What do you think of this whole thing? Have you seen the Evergreen, the day of absence thing? Have you seen all the videos of the people that, again, they kind of shared a specific similarity, that were acting a certain way? And how did you feel about this? Let me know in the comments, and if there's something you'd like me to cover in later videos, please put it in the comments. In the meantime, like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to this channel. And make sure to catch me on Twitter at HYL_Mickey_M. I look forward to talking to you there. In the meantime, I'm going to let this one go. Have a great day. Bye.